Hi guys, how are you doing guys? My name is Precious Achia, your host to Hall and Beyond podcast. Thank you for joining in today's episode and stay tuned. Let's jump right into our topic for today, which is weight of silence. But before that, guys, allow me to appreciate you and to acknowledge everyone who subscribed, who listened to my previous episode that we talked about, the very first one. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your likes. Yeah, thank you for taking time and listening. And remember, guys, this is a safe space to talk. This is a safe space to heal, a safe space to grow. That is the whole purpose of this channel. So let's dive right into our topic for today, which is weight of silence. So what is weight of silence? Weight of silence is the load that is inside of us when our emotions are unspoken, when our truths are unspoken. We carry things inside and we don't want to express them. And I feel like, guys, this is something that a lot of us carry quietly because it is silence. We carry it quietly and we don't know that we are carrying this burden of silence. We keep quiet, yet there are emotions inside of us, there are truths inside of us that have not been spoken. And when we explore silence, guys, there's a type. The first thing about silence is that sometimes the first thing of silence, it feels like it's peace. It feels like it's protecting you from a lot, and which is true. Sometimes in situations we tend to keep quiet and meditate, and it's important for the soul. It's wisdom to keep silent at times, yeah. But then, as it grows as it goes along, sometimes this silence can hold you back, especially in your journey of healing. Silence can really hold you back if it's the type that is suppressing you, if it's the type that there are emotions inside of you and you don't want to speak them out. Why? And guys, sometimes we don't want to speak our emotions because we feel that nikiongea anaweza ni judge, ama nikisema hivi maybe hata point yangu si valid, especially or for example in a workplace, when you're working somewhere and people are sorting for ideas, or somewhere when people are sorting for ideas, you might find that you have an idea because tukiulizwa swali kuna kwanga tu na idea or something that comes into your mind, but unapata you fear speaking out. Kwa nini? Unasema maybe answer yangu itakuwa mbaya, watanicheka, maybe watanijudge, mbona nimesema kitu kama hiyo, maybe hawata understand nasema aje, ama you don't feel enough generally when you want to speak out, guys, yeah. But you have to understand that silence can both protect you and hold you back. And protecting you, we have seen that when you keep quiet, when you don't speak in some situations, for example in an argument, and you choose to be calm and you choose to be quiet, that is wisdom, and that is a way of protecting your heart, maybe from hurt or from maybe saying things that you might as well regret. Yeah, but sometimes the silence that holds you back is the one that you are hurt and you do not speak out. You do not tend to speak your emotions or speak what you feel inside of you. Let's take an example in the Bible. For example, Job. When Job got shetani aliporuhusiwa ku-attack his life, yeah, he lost his children, he lost his, everything, because the Bible says that he was the richest man at that time, yeah, and then he lost everything. And then his friends came by and they talked. He talked to them. But there is something interesting. Also, the Bible records that his friends came and sat with him for 7 days in silence. They kept quiet. So this was wisdom, because sometimes when you just sit in silence, it protects you from saying things. Because you remember, if we use that same example, there's a time his friends started telling him, ni kwa sababu maybe umemkosea Mungu mahali, ndio maana Mungu amekufanyia hivi, because God can't bring bad things on you. Ni lazima ukuwe umemfanyia kitu mbaya ndio something may happen. You see, they spoke things that hurt Job even more, because Job was a righteous man. Even God was telling Satan that Job was a good man and that he would never abandon him, or like that. But you see, when his friends started talking, they told him, "Wewe umekosea Mungu, you have done wrong things to deserve this, you have brought this upon yourself." Even his wife told him to curse God and die, because he felt like this wasn't, But you see, the wife and the friends, at some point when they spoke things that brought hurt to Job, and they spoke things that they later regret. Because also, allow me to use that example, guys, still. When everything was lifted and God wanted to restore things to Job, he asked Job to pray for his friends. Why? Because they had spoken things they didn't know. They had judged. They had said, "Oh, Mungu ndo amekufanyia hivi because you have done wrong." But the same Job was the one that was asked to pray for his friends, because they had said some wrong things. So sometimes, guys, this particular silence, it can be good, so that you can be able to think, you can be able to digest, so when you outpour things of wisdom, and that is a very beneficial side of that silence. But the weight of silence that we're talking about today, guys, it's the one that you don't actually speak out when things happen to you, especially in this journey of healing that we are working together. Remember, when you are healing, when people have done things to you, or when things have happened to you, there's that moment where you just want to sit alone, you just want to think, you just want to be quiet, you want to think. And the first times it helps, because when I feel nimefika tu mwisho, acha at this particular point I just sit quiet and let my heart rest. Yeah. But as you continue letting your heart heal and rest, you tend to find that you're blocking yourself from healing. Why? Because you don't want to let it out. Because the first step of healing, guys, we said last time, is you have to be willing. You have to be willing to heal. And when you are willing to heal, the first thing you do, we said, you express yourself. And in expressing yourself, clearly silence is not there. So guys, you find that you unakaa unajinyamazia, you're not ready to heal, you're not ready to speak out, and this becomes weighty. It becomes a burden. You feel like something is torn apart, but you don't know what, because you sit all day in silence, you think about your life, you tend to overthink. And there are different people who possess different, like, they consume pain, or rather they express their healing or silence differently. Yeah, there are those ones that when they hurt, they'll keep quiet, and there are those ones who will speak. So these ones that keep quiet and keep everything to themselves, they tend to overthink. Overthink all angles. You sit all day, you think, ama ni kwa sababu, ama she stopped being my friend because I did this to her, ama she stopped being my friend because I did this to her. You don't ask, you don't want to speak out and know where the problem is, and you address it. And this is one thing that I need us to understand, guys. First of all, when you're starting the journey of healing, you need to know the point where you are hurt, and you have to focus on addressing that. When you focus on addressing at that particular point where you are hurt, that is where your healing starts. You sit down and you find, you get to know, he cheated on me, or they did this to me. So this is where I am feeling pain in my heart. This is the particular issue that I need to be healing from. And you acknowledge that is what you want to heal from. And that is where you start from, guys. Because sometimes tuna procrastinate, hatutaki kufikia hiyo point ya kuheal. We want to keep on carrying that pain, to keep that silence. Tunanyamazia tu, tunakaa tunayo, tunanyamazia tu. Hatutaki kwenda the next step forward, that is of healing, guys. And that is like really important to speak. Yeah. When in the Bible also, when the Israelites were crossing were crossing the Red Sea, I believe, and then the Egyptians, Pharaoh had sent the Egyptian chariots to follow them. And then the people were complaining. They were complaining to Moses. Walikuwa wanamwambia, sasa umetutoa huko tukuje tukufe kwa maji, tukuje tukufe kwa desert. I mean, hakukuwa na graves nzuri huko that they could bury us. You wanted us to die in the desert. But what did Moses say? Moses haku tremble ama kuanza kuambia maneno mengi. Moses told them to be still, that the Lord will fight for them, that they will see deliverance that day. That action of being still, he asked them to be still in that particular moment, guys. So as we have said before, there are particular moments of silence that you have to be still, you have to be silent. But if this silence is holding you back from you achieving your healing, that is where it gets hard. Because ikifika point yenye hautaki ku speak out, then honestly we are not ready to heal. Because the first thing that we have said, if you want to heal, you have to express yourself. Na last time when we were talking, we talked about journaling. We said that sometimes it's hard to share to people because they might not understand you. Wanaweza ona unaongea sana, like issues zako haziishi, and human beings tuko tu hivyo. Sometimes mtu anaongea, unaona maybe they are not healing from this particular issue, So sometimes you might be afraid to speak out because unaona nikiongea hawatani understand ama watani judge, watasema I've been doing this for a long time, I'm too clingy, I cannot detach myself from a certain issue or from this particular issue, yeah. But you have to understand that you have to express yourself whichever. So the safest way, if there are people, if you have friends, or if you don't trust that you can share or express to your friend, you can journal. And that's why, guys, without forgetting, at my bio there is a link for anonymous letters. You can, if you want to share your story, or if you want to write yourself a letter and you want us to read it in this podcast, you can write the letter. There's a link on my bio. You can write the letter and then you can submit it. It is anonymous, guys. We will not know who you are, will not know your name and everything, because your name also is not required, just your story. And if you want the podcast to be read, if you want your story to be read on the podcast, if your silence is keeping you from healing, maybe it's holding you back and it's time to speak. That's why I'm telling you it's important to share with someone you can trust, or you can journal, or you can also write a letter in our anonymous segment, guys. Yes, so I think that is all I have to say about the weight of silence today. If you want to heal, the second step after acknowledging that you have been hurt is expressing yourself, so that you can know, you or the person helping you can know what you're going through or how they can help you. If you're seeking therapy, when you go to a therapist, you have to speak first so that they can know what is hurting you or what happened to you. So let us not carry this weight of silence around, because it is usually really hard, because we carry it for a really long time and we usually don't know kwa inakuanga inatuumiza na it consumes us from within. We just carry it around, tunanyamazia, tunasema tu Anita heal tu, I know I'll heal, but you don't want to acknowledge your emotions, you don't want to feel the emotions, you don't want to feel angry. By the way, guys, if you want to heal very well, feel every emotion. If there's a point you felt angry and you wanted to speak out, you wait to cool down and then you speak out. You speak the emotions. Even when in the Bible, when God was talking to Elijah, when Elijah was waiting for him, the Bible says there was earthquake, there was rumbling, there was this and this, and the voice of the Lord was not there. But it reached at a certain point a still wind passed, and then a whisper was heard. So the Lord spoke in stillness. So in stillness, in that silence, and you find your voice and you speak out, and then it becomes easy, because you are able to address the problem. You are able to feel all your emotions, and you're able to recognize your weight, the weight that you carry, and you decide. And remember, guys, in silence there is always a choice to remain silent and hurt, and a choice to speak up and get healed. So I wish every one of us that is carrying a heavy weight healing, and I wish that we will all get better and we will all be able to to reach our full potential after we have healed. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me in this episode about the weight of silence, and I really hope that you speak. And if you don't have somebody you can trust to speak, you can journal. Also, there is an option of writing an anonymous letter to us on our website. The link is on our bio. You can write, and your name is not required. It is anonymous. We will read it, we will share it on our next podcast, that is. And yeah, we will get better. So thank you guys for joining me. Kindly remember to like, share, subscribe, and give me your thoughts on this. Bye guys for now.